Good morning. Hello, how are you? Happy Thursday, the 11th of January, 2024. So let me, as always, just double check that I am live before I start reading the cards. We're all good. We're all good. Let me just always like to double check. So how are you? How's life? How are you finding this new energy of 2024? Are you enjoying it? Are things changing? Have you decided perhaps that maybe some of the goals you started to think about setting, have you shifted them? Have you pivoted? Well, a lot of that will be to do with today's Capricorn new moon. Now, as a Capricorn myself, I am loving the vibe of this moon because Capricorn energy is very determined. It's very about, it's about that planning. It's about structures and foundations and having everything in nice, neat little boxes. Um, it all kind of goes to pot for me because I have an Aquarius rising and a Gemini moon, so it's all a bit mad. But from the point of view of this energy for this new moon today, the new moons are all about that planning and setting intentions, and you know, particularly for the next 6 months, but really sort of having a look because it's at the start of the year and it's the first new moon of the year. There's a bit of an energy of wanting to plan ahead. Now, the funny thing is, perhaps because maybe you were maybe you were ahead of the game and you were doing some of your planning and vision boarding at the end of December or the first part of January, and you were getting, particularly if you're in business, and you were getting your year plan all sorted out. I know I did that, and I have my wall planner all sorted. The thing about it was, perhaps maybe you felt a shift in the last few days, and it's partly to do, excuse me, it's partly to do with this new energy. It's partly to do with the new moon energy of Capricorn, but also because we have Pluto at the minute is sitting in Capricorn, but it's about to move into Aquarius. And it's ending a cycle that began in 2009. So cast your mind back to what was going on in 2009. Is there anything there that might be starting to replay itself? And funny, when I look back at it, at the end of 2008 is when I was made redundant. That was when the redundancy for me was my catalyst that got me started on this path. Granted, I didn't start thinking about or running my own business till 2010, which was when I first started. But it was that sort of 2008 into 2009 period when I was feeling really unsettled and had had the rug pulled out from under me by a boss, and had started that process in my own heart and in my own mind of, well, I don't want that to ever happen again. And I want to actually learn to heal me, which then sparked me on a whole journey of self discovery with crystal healing and Reiki and tarot cards and all the stuff that I'd loved as a teenager all kind of came back. And it's kind of come full circle now, in that at the end of this cycle and with this Capricorn moon, I can see this all playing out again. There are things changing in my own business. There are things changing in my own life, exciting things. I'm loving the energy of this year. But it's just really interesting to see. So you can let me know once you've had a chance to catch this reading. Um, have you been making plans? And have you just felt in the last 48 hours that you needed to change those plans because maybe things were shifting and changing a little bit? Well, it's perfectly normal and it's perfectly in line with the energy that's going on. Okay. Capricorn energy, this new moon is in Capricorn. And it's perfect for you getting really clear on the goals, really clear on the desires you want. And, it's slow and steady, it's methodical energy. Now, depending on your own placements in your chart, you might not like this moon. This might be triggering you a little bit, in which case that's fine. We can work with the astrological new year, and maybe March is more of a time for you to make those plans. So this moon might trigger you a little bit. I've seen a lot of people posting on social media about how they feel they should be more ahead than they are and they should be pushing ahead. You're exactly where you're meant to be. Okay, you're exactly where you're meant to be. And that shows up in the cards that we've got for today. Okay. However, if you are feeling the vibe and you're feeling that you're really wanting to tap into this energy, this particular moon is a great time to write out your intentions for the year ahead. And if you don't want to go as far as a year ahead, even for the next 6 months. Okay. Um, so this moon's playing with you a little bit and it's saying, you may well have made your plans, but let's change them slightly. Let's tweak them. Because perhaps as the energy of this year has settled in, you've realized that maybe some of the plans you had aren't really going to necessarily bring you to where you want to be without causing you extra problems. So it's about navigating and stepping into that flow, right? So I also would say it's worth thinking about how you want to put those, once you've got your ideas down, it's also a good moon to be starting to think about, well, the steps that you might need to take and how to reverse engineer that. And I know that that's something I do quite a lot with my members inside Soulpreneur Space and in Soul Food Circle. We often talk about what are our intentions. Can we then actually take steps towards them? Because it's all well and good having the awareness of stuff that's going on and having intentions, but if we don't actually take any steps towards them, then nothing's going to change. Anyway, I have got 4 cards for you, as always, from the beautiful Light Seers Tarot deck, which is my favourite deck, as you know, my current favourite. So I have got 4 cards. We have got the Two of Cups, we have got the Star, we've got the Ten of Swords, and we've got the King of Wands. Okay, so let's dive in and have a little look at what's going on and what we've got lying ahead of us here and everything, just so that we can get a handle on what's going on with this new moon and see what there is to see. Okay, so let's dive in. The first card that I have pulled is what this new moon is pushing us towards, and I have pulled the Two of Cups. Okay, so the Two of Cups, it's all about those collaborations and friendships and partnerships. Okay, now the Two of Cups, typically when someone sees the Two of Cups, they immediately think of romantic partnerships and they immediately think of your relationships, and absolutely that is a massive part of this card, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, so it just depends on your personal situation. And this is what I love about tarot. It's always open to interpretation. You can let me know if you read the cards yourself, how you like to interpret them. Some people like to go straight to the guidebook and just take that. I personally teach it in a way that it's about stepping into what it feels like for you. So for me, as I look at this card, I know that this card is pushing me towards partnerships, towards collaborations, towards, not isolating myself and bringing myself together with other people, because that's what's happening in my world at the moment. But it's also asking me to look at my relationships, and it's asking me to look at where I can put more of myself into it, where I can bring more energy to it. So for me, the Two of Cups is showing up in this position for this new moon reading in Capricorn of this card is pushing you towards, this moon is pushing you towards establishing those emotional connections. Okay, to look at the relationships in your life, okay? If you're single, perhaps keep an eye out, because you never know. Maybe the person for you is just around that corner, but it's about you loving yourself so that you're open to that, okay? It's about sharing joy. It's a joyful card. We've got the 2 hands coming together with beautiful rainbow energy coming down from them into the bowls in this card. Gorgeous artwork on this Light Seers Tarot deck. So this is all about sharing joy with other people. This is about attracting, as you do that, as you share joy, as you share happiness, your energies and enthusiasm is infectious and it draws people to you, doesn't it? When you think about that, when you draw that energy into yourself. And if you hear a little cat meowing in the background, it's my baby girl. That's Raven. Hello, baby. Hello. She's come to say hi. She's come to say hi. She's also come to tell me that it's breakfast time and she wants food in her dish. So you'll hear her meowing in the background. She may even jump up and say hi, perhaps. But this enthusiasm, this energy of this card, this connection, look at your relationships. Look at what you're bringing. If you're in a committed relationship, look at what you're bringing to the table. Look at the energy you're putting into it. Make sure you're showing up for yourself and for your partner, and make sure that you've got space and time for you in amongst it all as well, that it's not just all one-sided either way. But this card is really pushing towards that collaboration, towards not cutting yourself off, to really having that joy, that happiness, and that beautiful partnership. Okay, now this could be in your business life too. So it may be that perhaps this is pushing you towards, maybe you're thinking about, do you step into a business partnership? Do you step into working with a mentor? Do you step into a community space? All these things are favorably forecast with this card. It is about that community. It's about that partnership. It's about that collaboration. Okay. And about sharing. Human beings are not designed to operate in isolation. And the thing about it is, like, I am more introverted than extroverted. I love my own space. I love that sort of I have a seven life path, so I am quite naturally. I like a lot of time on my own. I like to pull back a lot of times, but you don't want to do that to your detriment. And that's the thing I love about my community soul food circle. When we're in there, there's some people in there who are really quite happily introverted, and that's what I love about it because we don't force anybody to be on calls or do anything like that. The calls are streamed into our private group so people can watch in the background and engage that way if they don't want to be on a Zoom call or if they, there's loads of ways for them to do that. And I love that, but they're still in that tight collaboration. They can still come into the group when they need to. It's all on their terms. So I'm thinking that this card's really pushing you towards that type of collaboration, that type of partnership, that type of community space where you are held and where you're feeling safe, where you're not cutting yourself off. It's about combining your efforts and the same in your romantic partnerships, in your friendships. What are you both bringing to the table? Look at what's coming. What do you need to put more energy into it? Do you need to look at it a little bit more? Does there need to be more balance there? So this new moon is asking us to look at all that. Okay. Second card that has come up, the second card lies in the position of how can we get really clear on what our intentions should be this new moon? Keeping in mind that the new moon's encouraging us, despite it being a new moon in Capricorn. Just something else that's dropping into my awareness at the moment is that it's a new moon in Capricorn. And Capricorn's very sort of strategic and ambitious and business oriented, and 2024 is the year of the entrepreneur. Is this about a business partnership? Are you being pushed towards that? Is there an intention there to come together with someone, either in a business partnership, either in a, as a mentor mentee? Is there coaching? Is there a teacher? Is there something? Okay, that just dropped in. But the star card has come up about that whole clarity and about how we get that clarity. Okay, so for me, when I first saw this come out of the deck, I was like, we got to look to the stars. We've got to look up. We've got to look up and take that inspiration, draw that spiritual and divine inspiration down into ourselves. Look at your astrology, look at your birth charts. I had my birth chart done again by the beautiful Belle Logue just before Christmas. And I got her to do my full birth chart again because I had misplaced the last one she'd done for me many years ago. And it was brilliant to get it again and to have it all there and to really listen to the in-depth details of it because it's so nuanced when you get it actually done professionally. So I would big shout out to Belle Logue from White Oak Astrology. You really need to check her out if you haven't already. But so that jumped into my head for this because it was about the stars and looking up. But more than that, it's about drawing that inspiration down and in. Do you see the card? There's like the beautiful star energy at the top, and then there's a stream of energy consciousness coming down from it into her heart space. And it's by drawing that energy in, expect those miracles. So as you're setting your intentions and you're making your plans and everything under this lovely new moon, and you're writing down what it is you want to achieve this month and in this moon cycle and in the next 6 months or the year, however you're doing it, I want you to be doing it from a point of view of your spirituality and your heart space. Okay. Maybe take some time to meditate to get really clear. Is it what you want or is it what someone else is telling you want? Okay. Making sure it's for you. Your dreams might be very prolific. You might have a lot of dream energy going on at the minute. Perhaps your guidance and your clarity will come from your dreams. I know that I have had really disturbed sleep over the last 24, 48 hours. And for me, I've had like these flashes of inspiration and ideas popping in at 2 and 3 and 4 in the morning. It's really inconvenient. I wish the guidance system would get on board with my sleep pattern. However, it is also really good because if you keep a notepad or a pen beside your bed or some way that you can even send yourself text or something so that you can remember it, because the biggest lie you tell yourself is you will remember it. So your dreams, keep a notepad, write down those dreams, look for those signs and synchronicities. Okay. Look for those repeating numbers. Look for the little signs. Ask the question if you're not sure and ask for a sign and then expect to receive it and look for it. Okay. But this card's beautiful. It's all about your core purpose is bubbling up to the surface. And now is the time for you to step into that path of fulfillment. It's time for you, to really do that. And, coupled with this Two of Cups that came up previously for, what this new moon's pushing you towards. And we talked about the collaboration and the emotional connections and, whether it's partnerships in business or in personal life, really fostering those connections and the joy in them. The star is favorably shining on that too. But the star also then says if you want to get really clear, then you've got to really look within. And you've got to really shine your light on all the bits. And that means all the bits in the little shadow that we don't like. And, as I mentioned, Pluto earlier, moving Pluto has that shadowy aspect of it as well. So, it's about shining the light into those shadows. When you shine the light on them, the things become less scary. We might not want to look at them, we might not want to see them, but as we shine the light on them, then it becomes that little bit more clear for us as to how we can release things. So, light up those limiting beliefs, light up those unexpressed emotions, light up all the stuff, all the fears and all the stuff that's in there. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. Light them up, look at them, shine a light of awareness on them, bring that beautiful compassion and heart-centered energy to it, and that will help you get clear. Okay, it will help you get clear on the intentions, but it will also help you get clear on what you need to let go of. Okay, this is a new moon. We're bringing in new energy, but as we want to bring in new energy, we also need to think about what needs to go in order to make room for that new energy. And you can think of it over the next couple of weeks before the full moon. You can be thinking of, okay, what am I going to release under the full moon? That's why I love working with lunar cycles, because you've got, that push and pull. Okay, so beautiful card. And then I said to you to shine the light of awareness on all that stuff. Well, the tarot cards have come in to beautifully show us then what we need to release, and they've given us the 10 of Swords as the release card. This is very much about releasing all the old pain, releasing the old pain, the old dark nights of the soul that you've been going through, the painful stuff, the heavy stuff. The time for heaviness is over. It's time for light now. It's asking you to let go of old ways of thinking, old ways of communicating, old limiting beliefs. Let them go. And if you've been shining the light of awareness on those, and if you've been focusing in on this beautiful Two of Cups as well, and focusing in on the joy and the love will help to heal the pain of the loss of anything that needs to go. Okay, because we all go through stuff. We all go through painful things. We have transitions in our life. We've chapters in our life that are really beautiful and gorgeous and stable, and then we go through a transition and it's a bit like, oh, nightmare, and it's all a bit painful, and we don't necessarily see the gold that's being planted, the seeds that are being planted at the time, because we're in the middle of it. But the Ten of Swords tells us, right, that's over now, let it go. And as you can see in this card, she's walking away from a darker background into a much brighter horizon. She's walking into the light. And it's like, yes, the truth might be painful. You might have experienced loss or betrayal or ill health, or something's been going on. Maybe you've had a dark night of the soul. Okay. But all that has planted seeds for you so that you can step into a brighter future. So, in order to get clear, focus in on your spirituality and tap into the inner light and let it shine an illumination on all the things that you don't want to carry forward. And then, like the Ten of Swords says, let them fly away. Let them go. You don't need to carry it with you. Okay, so use the new moon to identify and to set the intentions of what you want to let go, and then come the new or the full moon later in the month, you can release them. Maybe write them all down, release them under a lovely fire ceremony under a full moon. That's one of my favorite ways of doing it. Okay. And then finally, we have got the King of Wands showing up. The King of Wands has come in to tell us what to anticipate and what to look forward to over the next 6 months in this Capricorn moon cycle. So he has come in, and we can see the lion behind him here, immediately indicating that strength. He is looking straight out of the card. There is a sheer determination. There's, he's a fiery character. His wand is full of fire here, as we can see. Wands represent the fire energy, the passion, the drive, the creativity, that real enthusiasm for life. So he's all about strength. He's all about determination, leadership. He is really ambitious. He is the quintessential entrepreneur, the successful person. He delegates, he leads, he's a natural born leader. So over the next 6 months, expect all that to come into your life. Okay. Expect to feel the fire of passion and determination come back into your life. Expect to be the creative visionary and creator of your life because you drive your life. You're the person responsible for driving your life and for getting where you want to be in life. Nobody else is responsible, only you. Okay. And that might be something that you need to work on to let go of any of that sort of blame and needing to sort of have someone else to blame. Maybe it's time to step into that self leadership over the next 6 months. I do really think, and I've said this before for this year, I do think that leadership is going to be one of the key words for this year. Self leadership, self responsibility, you really pushing forward, but tapping into your creative spirit. Because the more spiritual you get, the more creative you get. It's like spirituality needs to be expressed by way of creativity, whether that's creativity by way of reading your cards and telling a story about them, whether it's creativity by cooking beautiful food or growing gorgeous plants in your garden or making beautiful art, writing gorgeous poetry, whatever it is. Lots of different ways. We're naturally creative. So expect that over the next 6 months, okay? That fiery determination. His is a life well lived, and so is yours if you step into the driving seat of your life. It's up to you, okay? It's time for you to unleash you. We know that 2024 is an 8 year, numerologically. It is a year of abundance, of infinite potential. It has often been spoken of lately that it's about the entrepreneurial spirit and about, stepping out and doing things for you. Okay. So be unapologetic in your search for success, in your search for happiness, in your pursuit of love, and shine that love and that light and that creativity all over everything you touch in the coming 6 months. So gorgeous, gorgeous cards for this Capricorn new moon. So push towards the Two of Cups, understand and get clear with the Star, release with the Ten of Swords, and you've got the King of Wands to look forward to. So you let me know once you've listened to the whole reading what you think, what the cards have said to you. Where are you in all this? Me personally, I am loving this energy. I am a Capricorn, loving the vibe of it, really enjoying this determined energy, loving working with the people in Soulpreneur Space, which is my business community. So if you need any information about that, just drop me a wee DM. The founding member rate is still available for a very, very short time. There's 1 or 2 spots left for you. Also, as well, if you haven't already, make sure you've signed up for Heal, my free 5-day challenge that's starting. It's not a challenge, it's an experience. I don't know why I called it a challenge. That word maybe will appeal to somebody. It's a 5-day experience of healing and intuitive development and really tapping in. So on one of the days we will be looking at card work, but we'll also be doing a lot of meditation work, a lot of healing work, a lot of exploring that energy, and it's going to be gorgeous. And I love it so much. Likewise as well, feel free to get in touch with me if tarot is your thing. I have lots of different opportunities for tarot learning and tarot freebies. So if you want anything, just again, leave me a comment below and I'll pop you a link to a tarot freebie. Or you can certainly just drop me a DM if you want to keep it all private and confidential. We can do that too. Alrighty, whatever you're up to this fine Capricorn new moon, enjoy. Make sure you set aside some time today to think about what you want to get out of life over the next few weeks and months, and in particular, tap into you, remember your joy, and have a great day. I'll speak to you soon.